Socioeconomic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan says the Philippines' economic growth for the last 2 quarters of the year will be within the 5% to 6% range. This despite a projection of slow growth by the National Statistical Coordination Board, or NSCB. The NSCB's leading economic indicator survey projects growth to slow in the second half of 2012 because of lower tourist arrivals and higher wholesale prices. But Balisacan downplays the NSCB survey. He predicts growth will still be within target because of robust remittances and low inflation. Balisacan adds there will be, quote, economic surprises in the second half of the year that could prop up growth, including a rise in remittances, exports, and overall consumption as the Christmas holiday approaches. This optimistic projection comes on the back of a recent credit rating upgrade by Moody's, which puts the Philippines at 1 notch below investment grade. The NSCB's leading economic indicator survey examines the cycles of many economic data series, which reflects total business activity. The survey was developed jointly by NSCB and NEDA. Commission on Elections Commissioner Grace Padaka wants her graft and malversation charges dismissed, saying her appointment to the commission now gives her immunity. Padaka's lawyers file a motion with the Sandigan Bayan Wednesday asking for the immediate dismissal of the cases. The newly appointed commissioner says they are, quote, banking on a law that COMELEC officials may only be removed from office through impeachment. She says if the case pushes through, it will violate a constitutional mandate.
It's what the law says. It's no less than the Constitution that states it. And we are just using every possible remedy that is available to us. So how can that be leaving bad taste in the mouth when you are just citing what the fundamental law of the land says?
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, holds the last day of registration for the 2013 elections Wednesday. Thousands of Filipinos rushed to their respective local COMELEC offices to register. At the COMELEC local office in Arroceros, Manila, tensions rise as the poll body announces the closing of voters' registration. Some complain they were not adequately informed about the voters' registration deadline.
Dapat mag-ano sila ng advertise sa TV. Pag nagbukas sila, hindi namin alam eh. Saka lang sila nag-advertise nung matapos na eh.
COMELEC Chair Sixto Brillantes Jr. says it is too late to complain.
We cannot solve the problem of the entire country now. It's the last day. Pasensya na lang lahat yung nakuhirapan. We cannot solve it. It's too late. It's not our fault. It's not your fault. It's just that we're ending the registration today.
COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez is adamant the poll body will not extend the registration. For more on his thoughts, go to Rappler.com's Thought Leaders. Farmers questioned the Department of Agrarian Reform's initial list of Hacienda Luisita farm workers who will be awarded land titles. Some worry they're not part of the 5,365 recipients. DAR released the list 6 months after the Supreme Court ruled the 4,000-hectare Hacienda Luisita be distributed to farmers. DAR Secretary Virgilio de los Reyes says the department based its list on the names of Hacienda Luisita's workers since 1989. United Luisita Workers Union President Lito Bay says they will examine the list and exclude those who were not, quote, real farm workers. He says employees who held supervisory positions should not be counted as beneficiaries. Republican Senator John McCain says he sees stronger military ties between the Philippines and the United States under a Mitt Romney presidency. Rappler's Carmela Fonbuena is in Ohio and files this report.
Republican Senator John McCain sees stronger military ties between Washington and Manila under a Mitt Romney presidency, particularly toward efforts to curb the aggressiveness of China in the West Philippine Sea.
The people of the Philippines can count on a strengthening of our relationship and the bonds between our two countries. We are looking at a rising China. We are looking at a China that is sparking confrontation in the region, including with the government of the Philippines in the South China Sea. Mitt Romney understands that. He understands the need of a strong and large American Navy and naval presence there.
But senior American journalists closely watching Romney's political career have doubts that a Romney presidency will adapt a different policy on the sea dispute.
I think at the end of the day, the economic relationship with Beijing is so important that American presidents are very much boxed in on what they can do on human rights or on issues like the island dispute that you talk of.
He is a lifelong businessman. He sees the world very much in business terms. That may not necessarily be good news for the Philippines.
The presidential race between President Barack Obama and Romney is turning out to be a dead heat. Coming into the final weekend, McCain is counting on the Filipino-American voters to support Romney on November 6. Carmela Fonbuena, Rappler, Ohio.
A French newspaper says tax authorities made a €1 billion claim against Google to pressure it in a dispute with French media. French media websites want Google to pay them for displaying links to their content. Newspaper Canard and Chan says the tax claim is a bargaining chip in the dispute, with President François Hollande saying the government may adopt a law to settle the disagreement. A Google France spokesman denies receiving any notification of a case against them. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, Qatar is the latest country to condemn the Syrian government. Speaking on Arabic news network Al Jazeera, Qatari Foreign Minister Sheikh Hamad bin Jassem Al Thani calls the war in Syria genocide and, quote, extermination of people. He adds, quote, a license to kill comes from both the Syrian government and foreign powers who have not stepped in to stop the violence. Al Thani's statements come after hundreds are killed when al-Assad did not live up to a ceasefire agreement during the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Adha last Friday to Monday. At number 5, French authorities are scheduled to arrive at the West Bank city of Ramallah to exhume the body of former Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. This comes after a Swiss lab discovered traces of the radioactive isotope polonium-210 allegedly in his clothes, which may indicate he was poisoned. Arafat is believed to have died of a stroke while in France in 2004. A separate Swiss team is also expected to conduct a parallel investigation. At number 6, Star Wars Episode 7 is coming in 2015 under a new film company, Disney. This was announced after Disney's purchase of Lucasfilm for $4 billion. The company plans to produce episodes 8 and 9 in 2 to 3 year intervals. Chairman and founder George Lucas says, quote, it is time to pass Star Wars on to a new generation of filmmakers. Lucas founded his company in 1971 and released the first Star Wars movie in 1977. He will stay on with the company as consultant. The last Star Wars film was Revenge of the Sith back in 2005. And at number 9, 4 days after Microsoft launched Windows 8, CEO Steve Ballmer reports 4 million copies sold in less than a week. Back in September, Ballmer predicted that by September 2013, 400 million computers, tablets, and smartphones would run Windows 8. 4 million copies is about 0.33% of Microsoft's 1.25 billion Windows install base. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has its own mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click on how you feel and your vote will come down and be aggregated by the mood navigator at the middle of the front page on Rappler. It crowdsources the mood of the day and takes the top 10 stories that have gotten the most number of votes on the mood meter. If we take a look today, it is Obama declares a major disaster in 2 states, 50% sad, 45% afraid. Frankenstorm, Sandy, also 50%, 79% sad, contributing to the mood of the day. Today, most people are sad. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, October 31, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.